Welcome back here today to a brand new video today, and today we're going to do a new video kicking off a new series named F1 car versus F2 car. Obviously in F1 2019, with the release obviously happened already for the Legends edition, of course. This year F1 sees new cars and you can physically drive not just F1 2019 cars and classic cars, but now with the addition of F2 2018 cars. Now I know these are the 2018 Formula 2 cars, so they may not exactly be the latest model of F2 cars, okay? So obviously the times probably will vary, but these are still pretty similar still, and are the closest thing we've got to the current F2 2019 cars. Now obviously when the new F2 cars do come out, okay, if they release them on the game, I will obviously use the 2019 cars, okay, for the purpose of the video, but for now we have to work with what we've got, and obviously that means we have to use Formula 2 cars, unfortunately. But I'm not too you know, disheartened by that. I do like the F2 cars we've got in the game, and we've got some good ones indeed. So let's kick things off. Obviously we're going to use the ART driven by George Russell, and I think it's Jack Aitken's here today around the Austrian circuit, okay. So obviously I don't really know much about the F2 cars, okay, so don't get me wrong, okay. It's really a step into the unknown, and we're going to see really what the difference is in terms of lap time between the two cars. How big of a gap it is between an F1 car and an F2 car, I do wonder, obviously. And I hope you guys are very much, you know, willing to find out what is the difference between a Formula 2 car and a Formula 1 car. Of course, could there be such a difference, or will the gap be a lot closer than maybe many of us would suspect? Personally, we just don't know. Let's find out though. That's what you're here for, to find out the difference. Rules are going to be very much the same, okay, as usual, okay. We're going to be using, okay, well, 3 times laps, okay, or 3 times to get a lap in, okay. We may extend it to 4 or 5 depending, okay, on the situation. We'll just see. But basically, not many laps to get feeling for a car, and that just allows us to push, you know, and we got to more or less get it right as we head out of the final corner. Obviously these F2 cars do have the DRS, as you can see. The rear flap is open. That will just help us out with top end speed as we head into turn 1, through turn 1 and up the hill now into turn 2. And it's a long run up to turn 2 then here. DRS wide open, as you can see, braking heavy for probably one of the heaviest braking zones on the track. Gotta be careful out of turn 2. I've found in these F2 cars they can really snap the rear end here in the F2 cars. And down into turn 3, very heavy braking zone, running a bit wide off the circuit, in fact into the gravel trap. So that's more or less this lap out the window in terms of setting a competitive lap. We're still going to finish on finish off the lap, of course, because the lap hasn't been invalidated, which is still good. Now as we enter the final sector now, I do like this final sector, one of my favourites. Very easy, but also very crucial, I think, personally, to get a good lap here. Right, final corner coming up. Very important, get a good exit here for your next lap, for sure. Then out of that corner, down the stop, and straight up into turn 1, uphill. Now on race day, watch out for cars getting bunched up here at turn 1. Watch out for also a bit of crashes. There's certainly potential for it. As we now plough our way then on through this track. Heading now through turn 2. Putting down power a whole lot earlier there. That should help for sure. Now we don't want to do the same mistake as last time, so we're going to back off slightly earlier, get a better turn and focus on that exit, which we've nailed here. And that will surely give us so much more time, you know, as we head down the hill, ploughing for this second sector here. Now, obviously, we're still making up time. Got such an advantage on the lap we did last time. We're looking better than our rival here, but that's an invalid lap. Only just running wide there. That's how crucial time trial is. You know, you can't make one error really in time trial. That's the nice or horrible thing about it. Nice thing about it, you get to maximise the car every single lap. Right, we're going to try it again, of course. So, right, up into turn 1. Invalid lap, really? Go away. How was that invalid? I thought that was more than valid. Let's have a look. Let's analyse it. Ah, yes, no. The game is right. We did have all 4 wheels off the circuit. Probably didn't gain anything from that anyway, which I think is always a bit harsh. You meant to run out, well, you want to get really running out onto that yellow curb. You sort of want to ride it just a bit more like that. Sort of want to ride it and then, you know, let the car drift a little bit. Right, we'll restart the lap. Okay, so obviously we've only had 2 laps so far. I'm not going to count that as an attempt because we barely got in a corner. And there, we didn't even get in a corner. So, obviously, not great, has to be said. Right, attempt 3, shall we say.
So far, our fastest lap is a 1 minute 20.6.
By the way, for it to class as an attempt, a lap must be valid, okay, and set, okay, and B, okay, at least half the lap must be done. So right now, in all fairness, we've done about 2 attempts, okay. Right now, this would just about qualify as a 3rd attempt, okay, ladies and gents. But right now, getting going nice and deep. Gaining plenty of time. Don't want to now make mistakes. This is where it's very easy to mess up the lap in general. If anything, we want to try and pull out as much as we can in this sector because this is the crucial sector. Through final turn, got a good run there, and here we go. This is going to be the first competitive lap. It's a 1:17.1. Then that's a very good lap. Moves us to 217th in the world leaderboard. Then, so yeah, there we go. Then, so I'm happy with that lap. Okay, a 1:17.1, 0.73 moves us to 217th in the leaderboard, which isn't bad actually when you think of it there. Now we're gonna put on, okay, the Red Bull Aston Martin. So a 1:17.1 from the F2 car to beat. Okay, that is the lap, okay, that we've got to beat then. And obviously just gotta make note of that. So 7.3, yes it was 7.3. So obviously, how fast can the Red Bull go? What is going to be the difference here? How much slower will the F2 car be? That is the question that we're about to find out, and hopefully about to get the answer to, you know, around this circuit anyway, because obviously it will probably vary circuit to circuit. Imagine here, because it's a lot short of a lap, it could be a lot closer, whereas maybe Silverstone, when we do that, it could be a lot further the gap actually. So obviously that will be the interesting question to find out. We're gonna do the Red Bull as this is the Red Bull ring, okay? And Red Bull, it's basically Red Bull's home race, Austria, just to let you know. So that's something I'd like to let you guys know. So this will be very important for the Red Bull team, of course. Can they beat a F2 car? I'm pretty sure it will, but how much by? As we now make the run, or run up, should I say, into turn 1, and that was a dreadful first corner, has to be said. I'm going to actually restart, and that was a very terrible first corner, absolute shocking. Car handles nicely, I must say, it goes wherever you want it to go. Well, certainly that's what I'm noticing here. You know, anyway, which is good. You have no fear in where you want to put the car, put it that way. Very good brakes, maybe compared to one or two other cars I've driven so far in this game. Maybe a bit too good, but that's certainly catching me off a little bit. Obviously got 3 laps to adapt to this car. Alright. As we plough away out turn 2, open up the DRS. Really make most effect of it. As you can see, the DRS is much wider in these F1 cars, just giving them that edge in the straight line speed, really. That's what it should be doing anyway. Whoa, off the circuit. Nonetheless, still valid, more or less. And yeah. So already looks like we're going to be pretty much beating the lap time we set in the F2 car by the looks of it, I reckon. But how much by? That's the question. And already 10 seconds, you could say, clear of the F2 car. And that wasn't by far the greatest lap I've ever done around this circuit. Trust me. We've got a lot more pace from where that came from. Right, not as much on the right on the board. I imagine more people maybe have set laps, okay, or something like that. So yeah, certainly not as maybe you know, quick on the leaderboard, but we're in the top 2,000, I guess, which ain't bad. That was a sweet run through there. Oh, small mistake. Won't affect us too much in the end. Only 4 tenths up. Really now making some gains here. Almost a second up. Only got 1 more lap, by the way, after this. Car is absolutely perfect through there. And that is a 1.6. Then first time I've gone into the 1.6s around here on this game, and again invalid lap there. Let's see how whether the game is right or wrong here to give us the invalid lap. Pretty sure it'll be right. Oh yes, again, only just. I doubt we would have gained much time though through that, you know, as the game's probably claiming. You know, such an easy corner though to run wide, because it's very narrow here. This sort of curb does throw you out quite somewhat. You either have to slow down more, or, you know, to get a good lap time though, you have to really attack this curb, I always find. And you have to, you know, sort of ride it a lot, which obviously then does cause natural understeer. Plus, it's the actual first bit of the corner is actually on camber, meaning the car actually wants to turn in that way. But then the second bit, where you go over this crest bit, is actually very much a bit off camber. So your car doesn't want to so much turn in as much to the corner as maybe what it should be doing. So it's a lot harder to turn in. But nonetheless, we'll try one more lap. But we've already beaten, okay, by a good margin, the F2 car, which is amazing. Obviously I had no doubts which one's faster in my mind. I always felt, well, I always knew it was the F1 car. It'd make no sense if it was the F2 car. But you always ask yourself a question: how much faster can the F2 car really be? Is it... sorry, how much faster the F1 car can really be? You always have to ask yourself that question. Is it, you know, a second faster? Is it miles faster? How much faster is it? And obviously, sort of getting that answer. You know, right now the F1 car is a good 10 seconds faster around a circuit like this anyway. Obviously that's the 2018 car, this is the 2019 Red Bull, of course, so things may be different. But as we come across the line and we go marginally faster again. See if we can go one more. Really making most of that first turn. So here we go, final lap this is. So this lap is 100% quicker. And there we go, that's another half a second then to move us up just into 1111th spot in the leaderboard, of course, then there. Obviously not bad indeed, I didn't think anyway. So yeah, obviously that's actually rather good lap time, I think, a 1:06. You know, a 1:06.4. I don't think we're gonna even see them laps at this Grand Prix weekend. Who knows? But yeah, decent lap then. I feel like we got out of the car there. Then I don't think. Well, I do think there's probably a bit more. Maybe I wouldn't want to say how much more if we had a setup on at the moment. Obviously, setups are going to be very difficult right now to know which one is the right way to go. You know, all you could probably say is maybe if you tweak, maybe, I don't know, the wing angles, you know, a little bit, you may get something extra. There's probably still more time, 100% in this car on the table, but yeah, you know, it's very, very hard to judge from, you know, just running a standard setup, obviously. But yeah. So, overall, the Red Bull did a 1:04.82. Okay. So that really makes this car, this Red Bull 19, or the F1 car in this case, around 10 seconds, well, 10.5 seconds quicker, hiccup there. 10.5 seconds quicker, than the actual Formula 2 car, which is quite some margin, especially around a circuit like this. Don't get me wrong, I don't feel like we maximised either car today. You know, I don't think we were anywhere close, okay, to maximising either car. maybe we were. I think we did a very good 2 good laps. I think we did probably a few more good laps in the Red Bull than we did in the actual Formula 2 car. But I don't feel like if we, let's say, I don't feel like we would have got much more out of the F2 car. I feel like that was on the limit. Only maybe if we tidied the lap up, yeah, there was probably 1 or 2 more tenths out of that car, maybe a few more tenths, but not many. There wasn't a second in that car. With setup, you know, I'd go as far as saying there probably is a second to be found there. Without setup, I'm going to say there was probably not much to be found. And yeah, you know, at the end of the day, we're in the top 30% of this leaderboard, which is good overall. I think that says 30, or is that 39? Sorry, 39%. Okay, there, which is okay. I'll accept that. Okay, given that we're quite new still to the game, of course. So yeah, you know, I can't actually complain about that. And yeah, you know, look, we're not even running, you know, full. Well, we're not even running traction control. The only assist we're running is the anti-lock brake system, so we won't do any lockups. And we're quicker than some, actually, I would say. To be in that rank, I'm pretty happy with that. Out of, so far, 2,929 players. So, out of that many players, you know, we're about, what, half? Fifth, you could say that we're probably half the best there, I guess. And if you go to actually then, I guess, the other one, turns out me and my friends, that must be with setup. We'll see, actually. I'm gonna do quickly a setup. See what setup they're using, okay? Can you do that? Load setup. There we go. So, we'll see whether that makes any difference. We'll do one lap, okay? Just see if I'm beating one of my online PlayStation friends, I guess. I've no idea what setup they're using. Credit to them if we do. This is certainly a better setup. 100%. Running a bit wide there. What's amazing, I say this is a better setup and we're slower. But no, that is certainly a better setup. I reckon if we give it a proper go, had a few laps, we'd probably get a better lap in. Maybe 2 or 3 times. I don't think it was massively better. Should we try one of the top guys quickly? See if that setups really make a difference. Let's have a look. So, gonna go with this Mercedes setup, okay? Because obviously, it's obviously gonna have one. He's got the quickest time already on the game. So there must be something he's doing that's obviously correct. And I see what he's doing. I think he's got a little bit less, well, less downforce, certainly on the car here. We were quicker on the straight, and I think the car rides the curb better. Yeah, certainly less downforce, because straight line speed is quicker. Trouble is though, also, and I want to point this out, not all setups work for all cars. The Red Bull does handle differently to the Mercedes. I want to point that out quickly, because I'll show you what I mean in a minute. In fact, I'll show you what I mean now. We'll use same setup as, I don't know, I'll show you what I mean. Okay. I know this is probably going away from the point of the video, but not all setups work the same on all cars. If you choose, let's say, a Mercedes car, you need to find that Mercedes, what works for the Mercedes. A Mercedes is really a car that does straight line pace. In recent maybe years, we've heard it's been okay around corner, having a decent chassis and all that, but otherwise, it's really a car purposely designed to be the quickest in a straight and around the medium to low speed corners, or long speed corners, sorry. And in a way, only Ferraris now sort of come to that level of a Mercedes, and Mercedes sort of gone this opposite way. I'll show you what I mean. As you'll see, this is, I think, the Bob standard setup right now on the Mercedes. Jeez, that snapped on us there. So I'm pretty sure this is standard setup. So no tweak to the Mercedes of what I'm aware. Bob standard, nothing really we're running. Don't think we're running anything anyway. In terms of setup, attribution. And already you can see how much we're pulling out on that Red Bull. You can just see the difference here. Just look how much we've pulled out on the Red Bull, and we've barely done half a lap here. Like, this Mercedes is just a beast. Of a car. It just goes where you want it to go. But I didn't go there. Had to go down right a few gears through there. But the point is, it really does go wherever you tell it to go. Now if we put on a setup quickly, you'll see that it performs a whole lot better than that. Again, you know, so let's load this setup. We're now into the top 33%. So let's see what he's running quickly, so I can understand. Okay, 7.4 wings, that's interesting. Not too much on throttle application, which is okay. I don't really understand all this stuff, don't ask me. All I understand is about really the wings, okay, and I think that's quite high, personally. I wouldn't be running that. I prefer 4.4, I find that easier. Makes car understeer a bit, but that's okay by me. He's running not much rear downforce. And right, this is now with setup of one of the best. And it's very oversteery, the car, I'm finding. Goes where you want it to go. Obviously that rear downforce helping like a treat, giving us lower drag. I guess front's making the car turn in better, I'll say. And in this final sector, really able to attack them curves. Open up DRS for one last time, and it's a 155. So that's put us up into the 521st position, which is pretty damn quick overall. So that's about a second from setup. You see what I mean now? that is what I was saying about the Red Bull. So setups only work for certain cars, sort of thing. And we're only now 1.5 actually off the best, which ain't actually bad really. That's very good actually, when I think of it. And if I compare that to my friend's time, I guess, well, 1 minute 5.7, so not bad indeed. Then there, I wouldn't have said. Pretty closely matched we are, I guess. Only a few tenths in it. He's running a few more different assists than me. So technically, I guess I'm the more skilled player in that sense. But yeah, you know, overall, you know, yeah, it was decent lap. Still think there's more to come out of that car. But yeah, this is us, obviously. And yeah, that's not bad indeed, I don't think, overall. And you can see how close time trial is. It can be really, well, when you look at the top of the leaderboard, you're miles away at this rate. Like, yeah, it's just crazy when you look at the top of the leaderboard. But when you look to maybe even down here, to think, okay, that I'm only separated, okay, by this guy of less than a tenth, or well, less than a few tenths. Yet this guy is like 200 positions above me. That just shows how close time trial is. I always find, and it's quite scary to think that, and fun to think that's how close some people can be. And if you look to that, of course, you know, again, don't know what that means. God knows. Maybe a mate. I'm not too sure what that exactly means. Or maybe people active on time trial maybe right now. Possibly. Or maybe next rival potentially. I'm not too sure. So, yeah, you know, at the end of the day though, you know, it is pretty crazy. But nonetheless, getting back to the point about the F2 car and the F1 car. Obviously, the F1 car 10 seconds quicker than the Red Bull F1 car, which is pretty insane. I'm sorry, slower than the F1 car, than the Red Bull F1 car. So yeah, 10 seconds is that difference, you can say. And yeah, quite surprised though. Well, not surprised how good the Red Bull is, but quite surprised how far off the F2 car that George Russell won the championship in was. Slower. I thought they'd be a bit closer than that. Maybe, I don't know, 8 seconds or something like that. You know, I thought that would have been the gap. Seemed a bit more, you know, realistic in my opinion. But nonetheless, not getting too downbeat about it, of course. Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, pretty happy, nonetheless, with all the laps I set there. So, hope you enjoy the Austrian Grand Prix. As I say, watch out for turn 1, 2. These are certainly, in the first lap, very dangerous corners. Expect to see maybe 1 or 2 collisions there. In terms of overtaking opportunities, well, actually, when you think of it, every corner around Austria is an overtaking opportunity. Turn 1 is, turn 2, turn 3. I'd say the middle sector is probably the hardest to overtake, but you can probably still make overtakes, I would say, happily. You know, probably the most worst corner for overtake would be that last corner. It's more of a setting up corner for overtaking. So yeah, and in terms of prediction for who's going to win the Austrian Grand Prix, I am going to say Lewis Hamilton to get his, I think it'd be, what is he on now? He got his 4th win in a row, didn't he, last race? So it'd be his 5th race win in a row if he wins the Austrian Grand Prix. But yeah, I'm going to put my money on Lewis Hamilton. I don't really see anyone else challenging. Unless, you know, the likes of Vettel and or Leclerc could challenge. But even then, like, if you just look at the car, there is quite a few corners. And unlike maybe Spielberg, not Spielberg, the Canadian Grand Prix, sorry, Montreal, the corners, there are a lot of corners at Montreal, but when you get onto a straight, it is straight. When you get onto a straight at Spielberg, it's still not straight, and there's still quite a flow. Plus, also, it's quite a bumpy circuit, you'll find. It's not the smoothest circuit, meaning, obviously, you need a good car with good suspension. And I would have to say the Mercedes has better suspension than the Ferrari. So, yeah, my money has to go on the Mercedes and on Hamilton. Even though Bottas, he could be the outsider and I think the dark horse this week. If there was anyone who, other than Hamilton, wasn't up to par this weekend, I'd have to say that would be Bottas who would then take the win. But yeah, it'll be either Hamilton or Bottas. Hamilton's, I think, the favourite got to be going into the weekend. But I'd say Bottas wouldn't be too far behind. But it probably, in terms of a championship, a very crucial one for both Lewis Hamilton and Bottas. More so for Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas maybe to start to claw back some of those points. That 36-point gap already now in the championship. Whereas with, you know, Hamilton, it's just more important he extends and keeps up that momentum going forward, especially now as the summer break is pretty much closing up very soon. In fact, just to show you when the summer break is, we've got actually Silverstone Grand Prix, then we got 2 races, and then we've got this 4-week gap after there, or 3-week gap should I say. So no races for 3 weekends. Then obviously Formula 1 is back then on the 30th of August with the Belgian GP. And yeah, you know, these 2 GPs though I would say are Ferrari hunting grounds, if anything, for race wins. Then obviously we got 2 more races, and yeah. So that's how the calendar looks obviously right now. So yeah. Right, see you all next time. Tomorrow I'll be doing the Spanish Grand Prix. That'll be the last video of the week. Okay. So expect that at some point tomorrow. Okay. Then obviously videos will be coming out a bit more evenly spaced, should I say, next week. So probably be doing 3 videos a week next week. Now for the rest of the career mode. Okay. And you know, then next week probably a bit more chaotic because of the British Grand Prix. Plus I am actually travelling to see the British Grand Prix up to Northamptonshire, Milton Keynes sort of area. So you know, I'll be looking forward to going to see the actual Silverstone GP. For sure take a few photos of the actual cars, if get a good seat hopefully, and a good view. But nonetheless, try and still get some good photos, and yeah, you know, obviously maybe take 1 or 2 videos as well whilst there at the Silverstone GP. But until then, see you all next time for another video. Have a good day, and see you all next time.